Deep in the heart of Ghana, a land rich in history and vibrant culture, lies a testament to the artistry and ingenuity of the Asante people. These are the Asante Traditional Buildings. They stand as silent storytellers. They whisper tales of a glorious past. They are more than just structures. They are living embodiments of a rich cultural heritage. Join us now as we journey to the Ashanti region of Ghana. Asante traditional buildings are not mere structures of wood and clay. They are the embodiment of a people's history, their beliefs, their way of life. Each building, a repository of stories passed down through generations. These structures are like the elders of a village, holding within them the wisdom and traditions of their ancestors. The Ashanti people believe that a house is more than just a place to live. It is a reflection of the owner's status, their family history, and their connection to the community. Every detail, from the size and layout of the building to the decorative motifs adorning its walls, holds deep cultural significance. To truly understand Asante traditional buildings, we must journey back in time. We must trace the threads of history that led to their creation. Long before the rise of the Asante Kingdom, the land we now call Ghana was home to a succession of powerful empires. Each left its mark on the architectural landscape. There were the ancient kingdoms of the Sahel, with their monumental mud brick structures. Think of the Great Mosque of Djenné in present-day Mali, a testament to the architectural prowess of the region. These empires, through trade and conquest, spread their influence southwards. They carried with them ideas and techniques that would shape the architectural traditions of the Asante people. Asante traditional buildings didn't emerge fully formed. They evolved over time. They were influenced by the architectural traditions of earlier empires, but they also incorporated unique elements that reflected the specific cultural values and beliefs of the Asante people. One of the key features of Asante architecture is its emphasis on communal living. Traditional Asante houses were often built around a central courtyard. This courtyard served as a gathering place for families and a space for social interaction. It was the heart of the home, a place where stories were shared and traditions were passed down through generations. The 18th and 19th centuries are often considered the golden age of Asante architecture. During this period, the Asante Kingdom was at the height of its power. Its wealth and influence were reflected in the grandeur and sophistication of its buildings. Skilled artisans and craftsmen were commissioned to create structures that would awe and inspire. One of the most impressive examples of Asante architecture from this period is the Asante Haines Palace in Kumasi. The original palace, sadly destroyed during British colonial rule, was said to have been a marvel of wood carving and architectural ingenuity. It served as the seat of the Asante Haine, the ruler of the Asante Kingdom, and was a symbol of Asante power and prestige. But it wasn't just palaces that showcased the architectural skills of the Asante people. Even humble homes were built with an attention to detail and a sense of artistry that is still admired today. The use of natural materials like wood, clay, and thatch didn't mean that these buildings were simple or crude. On the contrary, they were often elaborately decorated with intricate carvings, colorful murals, and symbolic motifs. Imagine walking through a forest where the trees themselves whisper stories. That's what it feels like to experience Asante traditional buildings. They are more than just shelters. They are a language. Every element, from the shape of the roof to the patterns on the walls, carries meaning. It's like learning a new alphabet, one where the letters are crafted from wood and clay. Take, for example, the iconic steep roofs of Asante buildings. They aren't just there to keep out the rain. They symbolize the reverence the Ashanti people have for the heavens. The high peaks, reaching towards the sky, are a reminder that there's a greater power above. It's a humbling design element, urging us to look beyond ourselves. There's a reason why Asante traditional buildings feel so grounded, so connected to the earth. It's because they are literally made from the earth. The Ashanti people, masters of working with natural materials, have long understood the inherent beauty and strength of wood and clay. The walls of these buildings, often made from a mixture of clay, sand, and water, are more than just barriers. They are living, breathing elements. They absorb moisture during the rainy season and release it slowly during the dry season, helping to regulate the temperature inside. It's a testament to the ingenuity of the Ashanti people, who learned to work with nature, not against it. Beyond walls and windows, the poetry of space. Step inside an Asante traditional building, and you'll discover that the true beauty lies not just in the physical structure, but in the spaces it creates. The Ashanti people understand that architecture is about more than just enclosing space. It's about shaping it, molding it, and imbuing it with meaning. The central courtyard, a hallmark of Asante architecture, is a perfect example of this. More than just an open space, it's the heart of the home, a place where families gather, stories are shared, and traditions are passed down through generations. It's a space that breathes, that invites interaction, that connects people to each other and to the sky above. Then there are the verandas, those shady spaces that wrap around the buildings, offering respite from the sun and a place to relax and socialize. They are transitional spaces, blurring the lines between inside and outside, public and private. It's on these verandas that the rhythm of Asante life unfolds, where neighbors greet each other and children play. Living traditions. More than just walls. Asante traditional buildings are more than just physical structures. They are living, breathing embodiments of a rich cultural heritage. They are places where traditions are passed down through generations, where the stories of the ancestors are kept alive, and where the spirit of the Asante people continues to thrive. Imagine a young child sitting at the feet of their grandparents in the cool shade of a veranda. The air is thick with the scent of wood smoke and the rhythmic pounding of fufu being prepared in a nearby courtyard. The child listens intently as the elders share stories of their ancestors, tales of bravery, wisdom, and the importance of community. These stories aren't confined to the pages of books. They are woven into the very fabric of these buildings. They are etched into the carvings on the walls, whispered by the wind, rustling through the thatched roofs, and felt in the cool earth beneath bare feet. Symbols in the spaces, decoding Asante designs. Every culture has its own language of symbols, and the Asante are no exception. Their traditional buildings are like open books, filled with intricate designs and patterns that tell stories, convey beliefs, and connect the present to the past. To truly appreciate Asante architecture, one must learn to read this visual language, to decipher the meaning behind the symbols. Take, for example, the ubiquitous Adinkra symbols found on everything from the walls of palaces to the cloth worn by Asante royalty. These symbols, each with its own unique meaning, represent concepts like wisdom, courage, unity, and the importance of learning from the past. The symbol Gie Niame, often depicted as a stylized hand reaching for the heavens, is a powerful reminder of the supremacy of God and the importance of faith. Section 3. The drumbeat of culture, ceremonies and celebrations. Imagine the rhythmic pounding of drums, the vibrant colors of kente cloth swirling through the air, the joyous sounds of laughter and singing echoing through the streets. This is the heartbeat of Asante culture, a vibrant tapestry of traditions, ceremonies, and celebrations that come alive within the walls of their traditional buildings. These structures are not merely static backdrops. They are active participants in the cultural life of the Asante people. Take, for example, the Adai Festival, a joyous celebration of life and a time to honor the ancestors. During this festival, The Asante, adorned in all his regal splendor, receives homage from his chiefs and people in the courtyard of the Manhia Palace. The air crackles with energy as drums beat, dancers sway to ancient rhythms, and libations are poured to appease the spirits. Section 1. Guardians of Heritage. Imagine a race against time, not a frantic sprint, but a steady, determined marathon. That's the challenge facing those dedicated to preserving Asante traditional buildings. These architectural wonders, crafted from earth and wood, are vulnerable to the ravages of time, weather, and societal shifts. Thankfully, there are guardians of this heritage. Individuals and organizations who understand the irreplaceable value of these structures. They work tirelessly, like master weavers, carefully mending the threads of the past to ensure these stories continue to be told. The path to preserving Asante traditional buildings isn't without its obstacles. Imagine a mighty river, its course constantly shifting, eroding its banks. That's the impact of modernization, urbanization, and changing cultural values on these structures. One significant challenge is the allure of modern building materials. Concrete and steel, often seen as symbols of progress, can overshadow the perceived value of traditional materials like wood and clay. It's a global struggle, balancing the convenience of the new with the enduring beauty and sustainability of the old. The future of Asante traditional buildings lies in finding a balance. Imagine a tapestry where the threads of the past are interwoven with the strands of the present, creating a vibrant, dynamic whole. That's the vision, to ensure these structures remain relevant and valued in a rapidly changing world. One promising approach involves adaptive reuse. Imagine a traditional Asante compound, meticulously restored, transformed into a cultural center. It becomes a space for exhibitions, workshops, and performances, a vibrant hub where locals and tourists alike can connect with Asante heritage. Our journey through the world of Asante traditional buildings has taken us from the grand palaces of kings to the humble homes of villagers. We've seen how these structures, crafted from earth and wood, are more than just shelters. They are living embodiments of a rich cultural heritage. They whisper stories of a people deeply connected to their past, their ancestors, and the natural world. Imagine running your hand along the weathered surface of a carved wooden doorframe, feeling the indentations left by the tools of long-ago artisans. Each symbol, each pattern speaks of a time when life was deeply intertwined with tradition, when stories were passed down orally, and when the spirit world was as real as the physical one. As we conclude our exploration of Asante traditional buildings, let us remember that their story is not over. It's a story that continues to be written every day by the people who live in these spaces, who care for them, and who find inspiration in their enduring beauty. Imagine a young architect sketching out plans for a new building in Kumasi. She incorporates elements of traditional Asante design, the steep roofs, the open courtyards, the use of natural light and ventilation, blending the wisdom of the past with the innovations of the present.